Hi guys, Mollusk here, and this is going to be an update just to let you know what's going on in the channel. I would say it'd be a quick update, but I've got no idea how long this is going to run on. We'll just see how long it takes me to witter through some of the points I want to make. First thing really is what's been going on recently. Well, I haven't been putting out quite as much content as I used to and as I'd like. Basically, things have just been really busy at work. And a lot of my regular friends who also play games with me have also... So that's just meant less opportunity for games or any other video making kind of activities. And unfortunately that state of affairs doesn't look like it's going to end any time in the near future. So realistically what I'm expecting is to put out a video, you know, every 2 weeks if I can. And that's likely going to be battle reports rather than anything else, as now I've got the formula down. Those are pretty much the quickest things for me to be able to bash out. But what's prompted this update is that for the next few weeks content is going to be even more sparse than has become the norm. As it turns out, I'm getting married next week. And like the multicultural globetrotters that we are, this will take us out the country for a week. I'll be back for the briefest spell, and I don't anticipate having enough time to get any games in. I'll make a video if I can, and then I'll be off on my honeymoon. Oh, no idea why they call it that. The Germans probably have a much more appropriate name like Zottische Woche or something. But yeah, that's a long-winded way of me saying don't expect any content for about a month, because I'm going to be otherwise occupied. So what else is there to talk about? Oh yes, well I haven't really had time to watch much YouTube recently, but I'm starting to get back into it now. And thanks to a comment Lord Tremendous made in one of his videos, I finally found the HR channel, which is the new project of Anthony from the Sustainable Centre. And when I say new, I mean like he's probably been doing this for months, but I've just found it, so it's new. He seems to have broadened the scope a bit beyond wargaming, which I think is great, because I find him a very entertaining speaker. And things like business and human resources is something I know absolutely zero about, and I find his point of view on the topic and the discussion that it generates very interesting. I hope he keeps up his political commentary as well, and of course the wargaming content too. So yeah, very happy to have found that. And this is just me saying that obviously I live under a rock, but if anyone else used to enjoy the Sustainable Centre and hasn't yet rediscovered Anthony, he is now HR, and I'm sure you can find a link in one of Vince Venturella's or Lord Tremendous's videos or something. I can't remember how I got there in the end. And it was kind of nice in a way to rediscover Ant at this time, because it looks like my favourite wargaming channel might be coming to an end. For reasons I won't go into, but I wish the producer all the very best if he does decide to call it a day, and hope that one day he might come back to it, as I did very much enjoy his shows. But let's talk now about the direction of this channel. I very much want to catch up with my 9th Age friends and get the goats some games and, you know, try out the finalised system, which looks a lot of fun. And I might have to give the soon-to-be Mrs. Mollusk a gentle prod to get her damn undead painted. But realistically, given how, I won't say difficult, but effort it is to set up a game for 9th Age, at least for me, I'm sure the Dark Sphere community is thriving. It doesn't look like that content is going to be coming up anytime soon, realistically. I'd also like to get out my Dark Eldar again and play my 40k friend who I haven't played in ages. So yeah, I might try to organise a game with him at some point soon. But obviously the channel has now become rather Malifaux centred, and I'm simply just really enjoying it at the moment. I've somehow ended up with just a ton of the stuff now. I'm actually starting to feel like I'm in that perfect position where I've got pretty much everything that I want to play, all painted and ready to go. Weird Miniatures release new models every month, so I still get that new model feeling, where I can pick up the odd one I'm missing and look forward to particular ones coming out soon. And now I can really focus on putting the crews I've dreamt up onto the table and having a really decent hiring pool to build crews from. So yeah, I reckon my hobby's in a pretty good place for Malifaux at the moment. I've been thinking about it over my last couple of games, and I think what I most enjoy is playing a themed crew. And whilst it's fun to try to build the most optimal crew for the schemes and strategies of the game, and I certainly should be because most of the people I play are much better players than I am, I think what I'd like to do is just slow down a bit, enjoy and learn to play competitively with themed crews, like for example Nephilim theme or Puppet theme or Swamp Fiend theme. Not that I think those aren't competitive, but certainly for things like Nephilim I think they take more finesse than I've got at the moment, and I'm just going to have to learn to roll with the curb stomps as I take them. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, and who knows, maybe I'll lose catastrophically the first few days, first couple of games and go back on my word, but that's the idea at least for now. I would like to put up some more talking videos rather than battle reports, as to be honest that's what I enjoy most from other YouTube content producers. In most cases I wouldn't have a clue about what I'm talking, but that tends to be a rather low hurdle for us internet platform standards. It's just the time that goes into the making them that's a bit off-putting, as I really suck at stringing half a sentence together at the best of times. But I've had the idea of doing some kind of tactic videos. I've been playing around with the idea of calling them situationals. So I don't know, like show how particular models can be used in particular circumstances you might encounter during a game, or which models work well with which models to complete certain strategies or schemes, that kind of thing. There's plenty of information already out there on Pull My Finger or on the Weird forums, but and of course on Schemes and Stones and other podcasts like that, they're really good. But it's a bit underrepresented on YouTube, I feel. So that's something I'd like to do, but we'll see. Now there seems to have been something of a debate or a topic of the week, or something of the sort, on monetizing videos going around recently, and most of the bigger channels seem to have waded into the debate, and I'm going to admit it's gotten a bit too deep for me. But despite that, and despite being hugely unqualified to contribute, I'm going to put in my 2 cents as well, because what the hell. Basically, I think that so long as it doesn't impinge on the lives of others in some drastically negative way that's not within the power of said others to avoid, people can do whatever the heck they want with their time. And if they want to try to make some money off what they're doing with their time, more power to them. Perhaps if more people start doing it, it will change the atmosphere of the community. Call me naive, but I doubt it's really going to make that much difference. I mean, the community's going to change anyway, whatever. Look at the changes that happened in the last year. It could be good and people improve their content, it could be bad. And people who aren't prepared to pay can't watch the stuff we've come to enjoy, and the whole community generates into some kind of shit-throwing, content-pimping mob. But I'm betting the future is going to turn out to be pretty beige, and whatever happens is not really going to matter. I can definitely understand why someone would want to monetize their channel. I mean, the thought of everyone giving me £1 for watching Kolodi having the shit kicked out of him, you know, it starts to make my palms itch and make my eyes narrow slightly. And I'm less than a YouTube nobody, which I guess suggests I'd be a very cheap whore. But for myself, I do this for fun. I like the feeling that I can put out what I want, when I want, and I'm not beholden to anything or anyone to do it. If I want to put up more than 30 seconds of someone else's music, or a video of someone being kicked in the nuts, or, you know, some snail pictures, I mean, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this thing I've put up for the moment? Yeah, it's probably enough of that. But basically, I'm free to do whatever I want, whatever makes me happy, with virtually no obligation. No worry that the YouTube police are going to beat down my door and strip me naked, or whatever it is they do. Okay, snail photographer might want me to take this down, in which case, sure, no problem. But as no one's getting anything out of it, it's pretty unlikely to bother someone, I would think. This question of monetizing or receiving some form of payment for entertainment or service that someone's otherwise prepared to provide for free seems to be the shadow of a much larger debate accompanying the expansion of world media. It's so easy for anyone to have a platform now and to reach, you know, pretty staggering audiences if you've got the right thing at the right time, in the right place. And I listen to some Sam Harris podcasts and it kind of reminds me of some of the things he's been saying recently. And again, I am talking almost entirely out of my arse. I know very little about any of the context or factors in this issue. But to take myself as an example, I watch quite a lot of YouTube, or rather I should say that I watch almost nothing else but YouTube. I don't really spend that much time watching it. Most of my leisure time I spend either painting or playing or making videos or reading, and the rest is pretty much just working, eating and sleeping. But YouTube and a couple of podcasts kind of form the lion's share of my entertainment provision. And so I think that the majority of the content that I consume provides entertainment of a quality that other people charge for in the form of films or theatre or music CDs or that kind of thing. So it's certainly not unreasonable to me that they could at least try to get some money from the time and energy they spend doing their hobby. But I also consider that institutions like, for example, the BBC provide content to be consumed of a quality and quantity that must be at least somewhere up there in the ballpark of the best our species is capable of producing, and they currently give access to at least some of this content for free through things like iPlayer. And that may change, but that's the case for now. So it seems to me that this issue is less about the quality or the quantity being produced and really just what people are prepared to pay for. So I get a lot of entertainment from wargaming YouTube channels, but I'd say that listening to content from podcasts like Sam Harris, you guys are going to think I'm some kind of raging fanboy, or podcasts from scientific journals like Stem Cell, encourage me to grow more as a person and disseminate ideas with much more potential, I would posit, to shape people's lives and worldviews on matters of real human consequence. And the way I partition things, or don't, means that YouTube wargaming is in competition with entertainment or informative content of this other kind. And I'm sorry guys, but I think I'd know where I'd put my support if it came to that. To be honest, my quality of life and the growth as a person would probably improve if I watched less YouTube, so by all means guys, put up those paywalls. But to continue on down this rabbit hole, circumstances are clearly such that the providers of this other, I don't know what you'd call it, intellectual entertainment? Intellectual is such a dirty word now. That's probably inflammatory, but I can't think of anything better at the moment. Clearly circumstances are such that people will put this stuff out for free. Or rather, in return for our attention, which clearly does have some value. Value in terms that the larger the audience you have, the more more likely it is someone is willing to give you some money from that population, or the more likely that someone else like an advertiser will want to pay you to get access to that pool of attention. But I think it also has value to the individual provider, simply in terms of self-validation. It's just nice to know that anyone, cares about what you think enough to keep listening. And obviously your attention is valuable to me in the same way, or I wouldn't be doing this. Unless I was trying to justify watching snail porn whilst pretending to make a video. It's for my video, dear. And seriously, I couldn't resist putting this one up. Just WTF. Anyway, back on topic. If people are giving this stuff out for free, and they really want money for it, more than they want your attention, they'll charge for it. So if you've got that disposable income to give them and support them, fantastic. I mean, I kind of wonder if it wouldn't be better going towards a charity or something? And let's just get off this picture because it's a bit odd. But I guess that gets to a whole messy set of questions about the effectiveness of particular charities, the impact your donation to a charity would have on your life as opposed to the donation to the Wargame channel, and other shit like that to be honest I'm too tired to get into. For myself, I reckon my spending on the miniatures and the paints, and the train and table fees for my tabletop wargaming probably more than takes up my allotted entertainment budget. And if I was going to spend more, it probably should go to a charity. Well, those are my thoughts, and I could very well come to change my mind. And for now, I think I'm just going to hide behind the fact that I produce my own stuff for free, and so I'm giving back what I'm taking. Kind of. Let's not get into a quality contest. Anyway, I think the attention this topic seems to be getting is the result of there being very little interesting news coming out of Warhammer-based sources of recent. Yeah, Games Workshop sends me some emails telling me they've re-released some models. I've got some elven tart on a giant beetle. Something about points in Age of Sigmar, or perhaps that was months ago. Presumably people are settling into the rules of the Ninth Age. So I reckon this is all over because there's not a lot else to talk about. But come over to Malifaux, it's a riot of excitement right now. So let's follow that octopus. New masters are on their way. One new single faction master for each faction. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed with the new sculpts and concepts. Weird is really at the top of their game right now. So I mean, it's all really, really good. We've got, what's this, Titania or Titiana or something. It's like a fairy queen for the Neverborn faction. Really sweet looking models in the box set. It's kind of going with a bit of a wood elf-like theme. We've got this one, Parker Barrows, I think for the Outcasts. Keeping up the strong Cowboys theme that Malifaux has going on, which I think is great. Very good, the bad and the ugly. Got Sammy something or other for the Ten Thunders, fleshing out the Oni theme, the Eastern Demon kind of thing, which I gotta admit I like a lot. And then there's Nellie Cochran. I mean, forgive me guys if I get the name wrong. I can't be bothered to go look it up. This one's for Guild. And I think this was going to be really interesting because the master at least seems to be very scheme and strategy orientated rather than just out and out killy, which is how the guild tends to play. And I think the reporter concept they've got going on here is that's just great. We've got this Zip, the gremlin sky pirate with some kind of laser gun, and yeah, I don't really care about gremlins. His front of card rules just made my mind boggle. I'm not sure how that's not going to be overpowered, but I guess we'll see. We have this Sandeep Desai for the Arcanists. I think that's a great name. The crew has most of the crew has a very Indian or South Asian aesthetic, which I think is just fantastic and very unique. And then we've got Reva or Reva from the Resurrectionists. Just from the crew box, looks like she might use living models more than some of the other masters. And again, some really great sculpts in that crew box. So I don't really intend to get any of these, at least for the moment, because I think my hands are full, more than enough full with Kalodi and Lilith and possibly Zoraida. But Zoraida is a bit of a hand wave, and is really just there to fill out my... because I really love the Swamp Fiends. She's really just there to fill out that theme. And who knows, I could definitely persuade myself that Titania could complete the Triforce of my Neverborn Masters. Who knows, I'll have to look at her rules and see whether or not she fits the playstyle that I'd enjoy well enough. But yeah, for my money, the best model is this, annoyingly from the Gremlin crew, but that is just fantastic. It's a Silurid in a captain's uniform or a first mate's uniform or whatever, with an anchor, smoking a cigar. Weird, I love you for doing this, and I'm going to have to get hold of this thing somehow and pray that it's got the Swamp Fiend characteristics so I can shoehorn it into the Neverborn. But yeah, very exciting. And I think I'm going to stop there. So take care of yourselves while I'm away, and I look forward to getting back on the table as soon as I can.